Hello, Nutritional Edgians.
Nutritional Edge. Yep, that's right.
We
That's
did
what
that
people
the other day.
said. Yeah, we did. And we're on week 24,
Really?
which, yeah,
That's
we
impressive.
are almost halfway through the year. And
What?
have we missed one?
Nope, we
We
have
have
not
not
missed
missed
one.
one. We have 24 episodes.
What's that magic
That's
number with podcasts you want to get to and you're in the top 1%?
21.
21. So you
Yep,
eclipse that.
21. So,
Very good.
yeah, that's
Thank you to the listeners. We got 2 people on already. That's good.
yep. And what's cool too is that people will like view this later on,
Yeah. Yeah.
as they pop on and stuff. And these are all saved as recordings,
Yeah.
so you can go back and re-listen to them. I remember January was big on goals and habits.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yep.
February was that Heart Health Month?
Yep. Heart Health Month. March
That's
is
Heart Health.
National Nutrition Month.
Uh,
April, you have, January is also thyroid month, but
mm.
April,
April
IBS
was a
month.
lot more. Yeah, that was a lot of gut
Yeah,
health stuff. And then May, you and I were kind of both out here and there. So that was some
as
solo
mental health
episodes.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
that is
Yeah,
right.
we kind of we were doing our own mental health. You in Italy, me in Switzerland,
Right. Oh yeah.
celebrating mental health month for the vacation.
And then what's this month's theme?
So there's a lot of things going on this month. You've got Men's Health Months, and you've got migraine/headache awareness.
Mm,
So that's what we talked a little bit about last time, and we'll talk about that again today.
mm,
And some cool things that I want to talk about. One is your fast. So tell us more
mm.
about the fast you just went on, why you should or why you go on a fast at all, what's your reasoning, and maybe how this fast was different than your past one.
Ooh, okay. So, first question: how was this fast? It was good. It was actually really good. I ate my final meal on Sunday, and then I did not eat again until this morning. So I had 3 full days of not eating, and I exercised every morning. So Monday morning was some weighted lunges and some core work stuff. Tuesday was like deep dives in the pool and doing like breath work training. And then Wednesday was also pool. That was more lap swimming, a lot more volume. Out of all the days, including today, this morning was the one day where I felt like I felt like my legs were starting to give out for me. Um, and I think that's attributed to the training I've done for my legs over this year, really. I mean, this has easily been the most legs I've done in a year. Just body weight volume, primarily just a ton of endurance stuff, which has been pretty cool. And also, I did 2 prolonged fasts last year, a 96 and 115 hours. This one I went 85 hours, and my body was pretty adapted to it. So that was actually really cool to see that it didn't really freak my system out. I didn't feel the need to be like crazy intentional with like going outside or getting my feet in the ground or having to take cold showers in the day to like reboot me and stuff. Having electrolytes was clutch. And some of my bigger takeaways from it, um, it was nice that it wasn't such a stressor. I had a really good just peace about it. I was just like, I'm just
Mm,
gonna go do it fast,
yeah,
um, and there were some of us. There's about 13 of us that were doing a fast of some duration. I was one of the longer ones. There's still some that are going into tomorrow, and uh, and so that was really cool to just kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this because some other people are doing it,
yeah,
not because I feel like I need to or that I have to or that I'm in a place in my life where I should. It was just like, let's do it. And it was really just nice to kind of separate or pause. It's almost just like it disrupts your pattern um I mean, it's a different stretch of days than any other days you've had in the year.
yeah,
And so to just kind of have that pause, it really forces you, it puts you in a pretty macro lens,
yeah,
kind of observing everything and seeing where you're operating good, operating not good. Um, how like focus was during the day, how you're able to either sustain that or maybe not sustain that. I was able to do pretty good operating with like an hour of intent,
Yeah.
and then I would need like a 15 to 30 minute like breather. I'm just like not really doing a whole lot. I've also been kind of stuck in a little bit of a trap of scrolling on my phone.
Yeah.
And that dude, that whole action of scrolling, it jacks my brain up. It really, and it jacks my eyes up.
Mm.
Um, and so I did this for the first time today, just now from 11 to 12. But like I receive text messages on my laptop and my watch, and then if anyone's calling the clinic, it goes to the office phone. So I had the office phone in the back, I had my laptop in the back. I was on my computer, but I had my phone up here. So
Mm.
like the social media distraction was eliminated.
Yeah.
Um, and that was actually really good for me. I'm gonna do that a lot more often during my days here. And then the trick's just gonna be how to stay off that thing at home. Some of my favorite times so far this year, some of my favorite periods have been where I don't have my phone on me and I don't have my watch on me. And I have just
Yeah.
no clue what time it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Those are some of the best periods of the day for me. So yeah, I journaled this morning as I slowly and um, what's the word? Not magnificently or malevolently sipped my bone broth, and then just intentionally savored every single bite of my yogurt. Um,
Methodically, maybe.
oh,
I don't know.
I mean, it was like just every
Mm.
little aspect of
Ah.
having that
Yeah.
yogurt come into my mouth as I'm just looking at this grove of pine trees in the back of my apartment complex that I sit by, and just slow, gentle bites of yogurt. And food is good, man. Food
Best
is
yogurt ever.
good.
So
Oh yeah,
fasting makes
that's
you
wonderful.
appreciate things more. It's like a
You
reset.
appreciate taste
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot. You appreciate taste.
Mm.
Um, that's you appreciate feeling like you have something in you.
Yeah.
Um, you appreciate not having your heart just thump because of electrolytes or toxins getting mobilized or whatever. Um, but you definitely appreciate the access to food.
Yeah. So
My
big
goodness.
question is why you went on this a little bit um, differently. You weren't forcing yourself necessarily, or wasn't something that you had been looking forward to for like a year. But
Right.
what are some of the health reasons, like you started to mention,
Oh,
that you like about fasting?
well, how many people do we have listening?
I
Oh, we
think
got,
just one right now.
yeah, well, it's probably my mom. She's probably on a walk right now.
That's why I see the one. I was like, I bet that's consistency right
Yeah,
there. Shout
yeah,
out.
yeah. My mom's best Nutritional Edge fan. Um, I think when doing a fast, intent is everything.
Yeah.
I think that's a big piece of it. So my intent for me was to really kind of focus in on any potential lack or scarcity mindset that I might subconsciously have, um, especially in regards to practice
Mm.
and flow of patients. And like I'm looking to be transitioning to California next summer or so, um, and so to kind of start accumulating that practice, I got to be intentional with my time here to make the most out of that, so that way I can go back there and be ready to rock. Which I'm going to be able to for sure. And what kind of like so, and then there's health reasons why. Like the first time I did it, I just wanted to see what it was like. I just want
Yeah.
to see if I could do it.
Mm.
I want to see how hard it really was, and how I felt. And that was tough. That 96-hour one first time, I didn't have electrolytes in me. That was tough.
Mm.
Um, the second one, I really just wanted to like connect with myself and like my environment that I was in, and really get a good grasp of understanding of like what humans actually need that actually help our like nourish our body that's not food.
Yeah.
So I was really good about like abstaining from phone and listening to like what my body needed, whether it was cold water or putting my feet in grass or just launching sunset or going on a walk, just getting outside, like, or breath work. That's what kept me sane during the 5 day one. Um, and then this one, I ended up having just a lot more like free flow,
Mm.
and I started getting back into allowing for bigger chunks of time to work on one category of things and
Yeah.
just get a bulk done. Just chip away. Just let's just see
Mm.
how much I can get done in an hour,
Mm.
and not be so hard pressed for a tiny task. Like, okay, I'm gonna get this email, this email, this email. I was just like, I'm just going to work on emails and just allow more of my creative brain
Mm.
to get work versus I'm a very logical, analytical person. So allowing my free flow space to kind of venture out for about an hour and just see what it comes up with. That was really good for me. I think this year I've been probably the most like regimented and fairly strict on habits that I've
Mhm.
ever have been. Um, in terms of when I'm going to bed at night, when I'm waking up, uh, when I'm eating, when I'm done eating, not drinking this year, like just doing a lot of really positive habits. But the other side of the coin is that you can't become rigid with it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the intangibles of the fast. The health stuff, there's quite a lot, and different mechanisms get turned on at different times. So early on, you start experiencing autophagy. You start experiencing your body's being fueled off of ketones. You your gut lining starts getting kind of healed up. You start getting immune cells released into your gut lining. That's what's doing like the healing and repair. You're also going to get some kind of fat loss. And then as time goes on, I know at 48 hours, that's when a lot of mental uh, benefits come into play. Our dopamine centers will get recycled and then regenerated, and so they'll be all cleaned and repaired, versus kind of being corroded and maybe having a higher threshold or like a lower. It's tougher to have a dose that satisfies the dopamine hit
Mm.
as you're stuck in it. Um, so that's probably why, like, at when eating yogurt this morning, it's like, oh my goodness, oh, this is so nice because my threshold's been way lower. That now it's like yogurt is like, oh,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and and then there's also you start getting releases of GABA, increased release of
Mhm.
GABA, which has a calming effect on your
Mm.
brain and nervous system. You are also you're also getting an increase in human growth hormone,
Mm.
and I think you see that within like a few days. Um, just as ketones suppressing food that allows because it's a lot of regeneration that's occurring in your body, especially with all the autophagy that's going on. So it's a lot of regeneration, and human growth hormone is a form of regeneration. It's a
Right.
regenerating hormone, so it's
Mm.
getting amplified. Um, and then as you hit 72 hours plus, that's when you start to have stem cells are going to get created and allocated to where they need to be. You're going to have brand new white blood cells, almost like stem white blood cells getting created and getting molded into wherever they need to end up and be at. And then you're also going to have anti-cancerous effects too. So cells that might have been cancerous, they're going to start getting starved out because they feed off of sugar. And so you are depriving them of sugar. Therefore, they are also going to be undergoing that
Mm.
autophagy mechanism.
Yeah.
So those are the main things with it. And it looks like I just got a treat. A
Oh,
raspberry tea from Seven Brew. I wanted something refreshing.
post fast reward. That sweet, sweet reward.
And it's sparkling. Oh my goodness.
Nice. Tastes like Europe. like a faux
An
Aperol
Aperol
spritz.
Spritz.
Yes, yes.
Aperol Spritz. Oh, wow. That is just divine. Oh, my taste buds. Okay. There's my fasting breakdown. 15 minutes of my fast recap. That was good. That was
I
really
like
good.
that. You mentioned so many mental and maybe even personal benefits or advantages that you've noticed, while there are
Yeah.
physical effects. It sounds like a lot of it's mental too.
Oh, it is. It's totally mental because you like you tell yourself you're gonna do a period of time, which means that like you need to get to that point to really know what it's like. Otherwise, you'll never actually know what it is that you wanted to experience. So that's one piece. So you got to. So I told myself, okay, I'm gonna get 3 full days of not eating in. Typically, whenever I fast, I like to start like at a night, and then
Yeah.
just have empty, 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 whatever. And then that way, the next day it's in the morning and flows down. Um, and then the things that you always experience, I mean, such a dramatic pause in eating. So we're
Yeah.
almost constantly eating, we're eating constantly day in, day out. So such a pause in eating. It's like, where else can I see the pause? And it's like an out of body, like reflective type
Yeah.
experience. It's almost like you're forcing yourself into like a third person lens while you are still within your own body doing stuff. Like I was
Yeah.
doing things, I was being productive at like 4 or 5 p.m.
Mm,
during this, and
yeah.
still being productive and having a productive hour. And I learned like, okay, like I can just, if I just set aside like an hour, like a 60-minute block of just like no distractions, and just like, hey, I can do this one thing for 60 hours. How many reps can I do?
Mm,
And not also being okay with, okay, maybe I can only get 2 in, maybe I get 3 in, but maybe if I'm not interrupted at all, how many can I get in? And it's like, how productive could I really be not being interrupted by eating, not being interrupted by people, phones. It's like, because especially when you eat during the day and eat consistently during the day, then it's like that takes time.
mm,
And so that like trying to figure out how to not have eating be such an interruption, um, especially because I'm trying to be done eating at an earlier time. It's like,
mm,
how can I achieve that? So that was a pretty big thing that I recognized from doing that after being so regimented with eating within a window this whole year, trying to sustainably gain weight uh, while eating clean food and not gaining fat. That's tough. That is hard. And for the most part, I've been pretty successful at it. But it's tough.
yeah.
So it's a lot of intent, and then you just learn things along the way, and
Mm,
allowing yourself to free flow within it, and recognize like, hey, like, okay, I'm feeling weird, I need to go get sun, lay out in the sun, then you get cooked in 10 minutes, and like, okay, I'm back.
yeah. Yeah.
um, Stuff like that.
I love those little pauses to do something for yourself based on a body signal. Because I
Yes.
think that we ignore signals constantly. We get in work mode. People may not even notice, oh, my back hurts because I've been sitting too long. Or even if they do, they immediately switch that signal off. I don't have time. Got to get focused. If they even notice it at all. But if someone were to notice something in themselves, like you said, maybe out of whack, maybe they're restless, maybe they're tired, maybe they're in pain, go take care of yourself and get back to what you're doing. It's just, what do you think that maybe does for our mental health and just improvement overall?
But it's, you are listening to like what your body's requesting and fulfilling its need in that moment. Like if you're consistently feeling like you're short of breath, or that your
Mm,
chest is tight,
yeah.
or that um maybe like a little bit of like brain fog or something, or just not really, like you just feel kind of weird, it's like, maybe I need some oxygen. Okay, then do some
Mm,
breath work, you'll probably feel better. If you're feeling like kind of antsy because you've been inside of a roof for so long, it's like, maybe I just need to get outside and just sit for a little bit. Just sit outside. If you're feeling like, okay, I've been too busy scrolling doing this and just having stuff like just words fly by, and my brain having to think about baseball and then Star Wars and then something that's going on in the world, and it's having to like hit all of those like memory neurons, and like because then I'm associating it with something because that I know something about it, versus reading just like one thing on a bigger screen and just having doing less scroll, but I'm just reading like an article or something. Like that's way better, and it's just one topic, one thing,
Mm,
versus getting poked by all these different things
mm,
in a short time. That's what really jacks your brain. That stresses your brain out,
yeah.
and that's a huge cause of anxiousness and irritability. Is that scrolling thing,
Yeah.
and just getting hit with so many different centers. So it's like it's listening to okay, like let's is my body's getting irritable, it's getting restless, my head's getting restless, eyes getting restless. Like what is it needing right now? Um, and then go do it. Like Tuesday, for example, I was on a call with a friend after a team call, and person was like, "I'm gonna go on a walk." I was like, "Ooh, that sounds nice." Like but then my legs, my body, like I was almost 48 hours fast at that point, and my legs and body were like, yeah, I don't think so. Like
Yeah.
so, but my head, I was like, hey, what I want to get outside. I was like, okay, maybe I can go lay down by the pool. So I just went over to the pool, popped in one of those chairs, and just tanned and talked to the person on the headphones for a
Yeah.
little bit, and didn't force, didn't do something that was not congruent with what my body was requesting. And it's taken me about like 2 years to really figure out like what my body is wanting in said moment versus forcing it to do something versus forcing it to do a design workout when it doesn't want to.
Mm,
Um, and it's just like not necessarily going with the script, going with the flow. Because you can plan out a day as best as you want. When it comes to said thing, your body might be like, "This isn't the right time for this." And you're like, "Okay, I mean, I'd force that then." Yeah.
I love that. And I'm thinking of how with food and other lifestyle goals, a mix of regiment and flexibility to me really works. So with food, I'm always going to work in enough protein and fiber and nutrients. I need them. And so that's what I think about for a lot of my meals. But I also try to do that mindfulness activity of what am I craving? Why? How can I meet that? So if I'm craving something sweet, I might be fine with fruit. Like I've got some fresh
Mm-hmm.
mango in the fridge and it's awesome. Um, and maybe I'm like, it could be something else. Or let's say I'm like, man, I could crave a dessert right now. Some of the time I'm fine with indulging in that, but a lot of times I might ask like, why am I craving that? I might say, might think, well, I'm really just wanting to be cozy because I've worked all day. So I
Yeah.
might turn on a movie at the end of the day, get a blanket, get some decaf coffee, and I'm set. So I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
listen and nourish my body in whatever way it seems like I'm really wanting. And if I, at the end of the day, am like, well, that was great, but I actually did really want that cake today, that's fine. But I'm regimented, I'm structured about getting the things I need. And I'm not, even if I'm on vacation, I'm like, I love to eat different things. But I feel better when I eat fresh fruits and vegetables and protein and healthy fat. So I'm gonna get those things in, and that's actually enjoyable. I've listened to my body enough. But yeah, I'm not gonna care on vacation about how much chocolate I eat in Switzerland because it's Switzerland. But when I come back home, I might be a little bit more focused on like what am I really needing and how can I meet that. So that blend
Yep.
of yeah, and that can apply to workouts. I need to move
Mm-hmm.
my body.
Yep.
So to me, that's just uncompromising. I have to get up and move in some way, but the flexibility of whether, like you said, I'm doing this specific workout or not. Maybe there's a day where I am just really tired and need to rest, and I might do like yoga or hold a, you know, plank pose, or do some. To me, ab workouts are really easy because you can do them lying down, and it's just easier. Um, and then some
I can
days
make
I'm
those
like,
hard.
do it.
I
Yeah.
said I can make those harder.
easy in the sense of if I'm lying down, it feels easier, even if it really
Right.
hurts. But
Oh yeah, totally.
yeah, thoughts on that structured plus flexibility and how they pair together?
I think that's one of the biggest reasons. The lack of being able to pair structure and flexibility together is one of the greatest reasons people get burnt out.
Yeah, yeah,
Is they are so, and I think I've been a victim of this at times, or I've been not victim, guilty of this at times, is being so structured that you forget to have the flexibility, or you can be so flexible that you forget to have the
yes,
structure. It's like
yep,
you need to have that blend. Um,
yep,
otherwise you're forcing yourself into doing things that you don't want to do, or you're just not even doing the thing that you ought to be doing. So,
mhm,
like for exercise itself, sometimes I wake up and I'm just like, maybe I just need to go on a walk today. Maybe I just need to get a light, like one body weight exercise per body part, just one round done. Maybe I just need to absolutely mentally torch myself for an hour and see what I got in the tank. Mix it up, like listen to what your body needs. On Friday, I hiked Pinnacle. Saturday I hiked Pinnacle, and I was craving a raspberry sorbet, a Talenti raspberry sorbet. And I thought I was gonna get, and I realized I was like, I'm probably craving that because I'm low on salt.
mm,
So then I went home. I didn't go to Walmart. I went home and I just threw a raspberry element in my water, and cravings were gone.
hmm,
So it was like 9 p.m. I was like, I bet you if I eat this pint of ice cream right now, probably not gonna be feeling the cleanest tomorrow.
yeah,
And then on Sunday, I went grocery shopping and I went to Kroger and I got the things I needed to get. Walking towards the checkout, and the aisle I walked down was the cookie section. And I walked through it, and I'm just looking, scanning the cookies. There's some Oreos, some Oreo cakesters, and there's some Milano cookies. And I noticed the Milano mint chocolate chip caught my eye, and I was like, and I walked past it. I walked all the way to the checkout section. I was like, man, that sounded good. And my body was just like, yes, get the cookie. So I was like, okay. So I turned around, I walked back to the cookie section, and I got the Milano mint chocolate chip cookies.
yeah.
And it was 100% the correct decision.
Nourishes the
Smash
soul
those cookies.
too. Food
Oh,
does, not just the body.
I still have cookies. I'm going to have a cookie today.
Post fast reward number two.
Dude,
Yeah,
so
that's
many
good.
of those. Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
So good.
I think people going back to what you're saying on why it's hard to blend the two together and us not blending the flexibility plus the structure leads to frustration and lack of our goal achievement. Um, I think when people are feeling like they don't have a plan, they naturally want like they'll often come to a health professional and be like, I need everything spelled out. Um, and that can be challenging because I want to get them immediately to the structure plus flexibility. But sometimes what someone needs in the moment can be different. And so sometimes they need a
Mhm.
little bit more structure at first, and then they need to transition to something that's more of the flexibility in, or the opposite. So especially if I'm working with someone who has disordered eating, most likely they're too structured, too stressed, too over planned, and no flexibility. In that case, like fasting wouldn't be good for them because that could get bad. They could deprive really extensively. But what they need is to work in some of that flexibility. In fact, they may need to just work on destroying some of their food rules that are keeping them unhealthy and mentally bogged down with that. And then they can work back in some simple structure. So I think meeting someone where they're at, or someone listening at home right now, deciding kind of where you're at and seeing maybe where you need to grow in and who you might need to reach out to for help. So that way you can eventually get to what we're talking about, which works great. I think both of us feel really comfortable for the majority of our year in the structure plus flexibility, but it
Mm.
takes a lot of work. I think it's taken a lot of work
Mm.
for me to get into a really mentally and physically healthy space.
Yeah, I think the biggest transition I've been going through over especially the past like 2 months has been more flexibility.
Yeah.
I think that I got almost too structured,
Yeah.
too regimented during like December through March, um, into April. Italy was a nice little like get out of all that, and then May I've been more allowing of doing stuff maybe later, or going somewhere, just being more open to that versus being like, no, I need to be in bed by 7:38 because I'm up at 3:40.
Yeah.
Which there's a degree I have to do that, but also like I can survive if I'm in bed at 9.
Yeah.
I'll make it.
And I
So.
think to me, what strikes me with people like yourself who can have times of letting go, and it's very healthy, is that they're periodic and they are like short-term duration. So I meet people that are in too long of a space of disassociation almost, or almost like letting go. We need to let go sometimes. We need to just veg. That's important, really important.
Mhm.
But if people find themselves getting to the end of the day and then the rest of the night is vegging disassociation every single time, and there's no mindfulness, they're not really listening to themselves. It's just they really are in a space where they cannot focus. And there's a way for them to, obviously there's circumstances where someone is way too stressed and they can't do anything about that. There needs to be other things, maybe they need to get out of a bad situation or something different. But if someone is able to control that, and they're disassociating too much every single night, starting with some simple mindfulness, like you mentioned, tending to what your body needs, just one or two things over and over again, routinely, day after day. Maybe taking out 3 minutes of the night to meditate and cultivating that could be a good place to start. Then they can start to work on those longer term goals.
Mhm.
I don't know. That's kind of my
Mhm.
thoughts.
That's good. That's good stuff. That's cool little
No
stretch of
migraine
flow.
stuff. That'll be next
No,
week.
no, we're not gonna
Too
go
good
into
this week.
migraines right now. Yeah, that was good. See, that was flexibility. That was
Flexibility. There's
very that
structure.
was
There's
all
flexibility.
that was all off rip, and that was actually some really good
Yeah.
thoughts, reflections. So thank you for putting me through that. That was good.
Sneak peek for next week. I want to just leaving you guys hanging. What to avoid for migraines, and maybe hear about your hormone workshop thing that you're talking about, that you sent out. So yeah, maybe a couple things we can talk about next time.
Yeah, that'd be great. So we're gonna wrap this up. That was a really good 30-minute flow.
Yeah. Thanks for
So
listening.
I'm have to re-listen to that myself and
Yeah.
hear what I said.
Post fast, getting everything back together. Neurons firing.
Yep. Dude, it's oh man, always just the 2 days
Yeah.
after doing one of these, it's like,
Sure.
oh, I forgot the appreciation I have for food. It's always a reset. There's a physiologic explanation of the reset, but there's also the intangible mental of just like it's just a huge gap.
Yeah.
Even though it's only 3 days, it's like that was 85 hours without food,
Yeah.
and reset a lot of things. So probably gonna do another one around the holidays. Um, and I think that's a good. I think doing it twice a year, every 6 months, summer, winter. I think that's a really good spread
Yeah.
to
Good
reset,
pace.
reboot,
Yeah.
and then go. So good stuff.
All
Well,
right.
let's sign
We'll
off.
see you guys next week.
Complete the task. Adios. Deeps.